because you never know when a championship opportunity is just going to fall out of the sky.
Go to sleep! GTS! CM Punk is an 8-time world champion!
Yes, he is. We'll say greetings, good afternoon. How you doing? 20 minutes after the top of the hour on this Wednesday afternoon, 8th day of July. Got it right this week. Welcome into Beyond Ringside Live from the undisclosed location. Yours truly, the Magic City Motor Mount Fast Teddy Lane. Welcoming in tag team partner, the promoter, the trivia master, the incomparable Shane Knowles. What's up, good sir?
It's Hump Day.
I really hated Geico for that. I'm not kidding. I hated Geico for that.
Well, my reference was to the tag team, the Ding Dongs, created by Jim Herd.
I'd forgotten all about that.
I'm sorry, I screwed the pooch.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No.
No, I did. The Ding Dongs debuted. It was the Hunchbacks that he drew up that never debuted on television, thank God.
No, you had no way of knowing that the first thing to pop into my head was going to be that damn Geico camel. Hyundai!
Oh, I did.
It's like, shoot me now. Plain and simple. First off, thank you for everybody tuning in through BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, Streama, TuneIn, Radio.co, Radio.net. More ways than I've got active brain cells in the last couple of days. That count has seriously been in question. Chaos, we survived the 4th, I do believe. Real quick, I want to say a very special thank you to everybody who came to hang out all the way through the heart of the batting order, as I call it. Actually went into a little bit, well, I tried to go into crash mode yesterday, and it didn't work. Yard work never ends. That's the easy way to say it. 5 pounds lighter later, and some shrubs actually not wanting to be cut. So I'm just going to go ahead and get a flamethrower and burn them. I don't care. Operation Scorched Earth. Let's dive straight on into it. Coming out of this past Monday night on Raw, questions were answered. Lo and behold, when was CM Punk going to finally come back? Duh, Chicago. Would I have been surprised if he had not been there? Yes. Was I surprised that they brought him out straight for the world championship? Let's get it right. It is the undisputed title. Michael Cole in the soundbite during the cold open made the statement, 8-time world champion. No, the belt that he's going for was not the world championship that is being held by Roman Reigns. The current champion, Sami Zayn, was the undisputed champion, which is the belt over on the blue brand. So, we all make mistakes. I'm not going to crucify Cole for that, but I'm just going to sit back and say, wrong answer, redo the call, come back. I'm waiting. Send me the new soundbite. I'll be ready. We wondered how long Sami Zayn was going to hold the title. We were all, the majority of the message boards and comment sections were going, oh my God, if Cody gets this thing back this quick, we're going to kill him. So to speak, I would never promote actual physical violence unless it's against a box of popcorn. And then all bets are off. May go flying halfway across the bar. But a lot to unpack just from Monday night. Let's take it all one step at a time. Shane, brand new WWE Undisputed Champion in the form of one CM Punk. Sir?
SummerSlam just got a lot more enticing, a lot more interesting to this viewer who has found himself disenfranchised in recent months with WWE. And I think I said on this very program last week, I gave WWE credit because I said they never shock anyone anymore, and they never changed the title in Saudi Arabia, that those shows have become cash grabs. Guess what? They proved me wrong, and they did both by putting the belt on Sami Zayn. I also went a step further and said they never changed the belt on weekly television. They did that this week. Fantastic. Kudos. Moments like that used to happen. So as much as we criticize professional wrestling, and rightfully so, it's our opinion, I also want to give some praise on this. Yes, I am a fan of CM Punk, but the way that was executed and laid out, I would have been a fan if it were LA Knight, Braun Breaker, Drew McIntyre, Austin Theory, even Seth Rollins. The moment, the buildup between the general managers of Cody being taken out by Gunther, that continues that storyline. Who's going to face Sami Zayn? Now, I know they were in the Windy City, the place where the genre of jazz grew up. Thank you very much, music trivia last week. Useless trivia provided by Shane Knowles. I'll do it later, but that was phenomenal. They had a nice match, and Punk went over. So when I say that, you know, SummerSlam gets a lot more interesting now, all of a sudden, what does Sami Zayn do? Is he going to lean into being a full-fledged heel who is bitter and would have every right to do so? Will he be a babyface? Will he stay at that level? Punk is the undisputed champion. Cody and Gunther have major beef now coming out of this one, and I like it because Cody and Gunther have been the final two at two different Royal Rumbles. Yes, they faced off in Saudi Arabia, but with that angle, destroying Cody with a powerbomb and him bleeding in the opening segment of Raw, I go back to what I said about AEW, that they did tables burning in the opening match. Well, having someone put through a table and busted open led to something bigger in the opening, and it led to CM Punk becoming a 9-time, however you want to slice and dice it, champion in WWE. Kudos to WWE for pulling this off because I love the dynamic between Aldis and Pierce as well. It also opens questions, as you said, while I'm never a fan of a split, he did win the belt that is representative of the blue brand. So what does that do going forward?
So lo and behold, normally when situations like this occur, we have a talent swap. So the new champion crossover goes over to SmackDown, and a SmackDown superstar comes to Monday Night Raw. But that is the way it has been done in the past. Will that happen under the current regime? Who the hell knows? Now, coming out of Saudi, the majority of the world, myself included, was wondering how long is this going to be? Is Zayn going to be a transitional champion? And if so, what direction are they going to take that? I once again, if you caught last week's show or caught it on through the podcast feeds, available wherever you get your shows, you heard me say there is nothing wrong in this world of being a transitional champion. Look at John Cena, how short some of his reigns were. CM Punk, how short a couple of his reigns were. Edge, all of the above. I mean, God, Hogan. Most of your major stars in this industry have had those talent building title runs that were abbreviated so someone else could get that credibility. So, 9 days. Okay, look, people to this day in calendar year 2026 still acknowledge the fact that even though technically it was 6 days, somebody even tried to say 5, Tommy Rich, somebody say something about 10 pounds of gold. Now, I can't do his voice to save my ass right now. But once again, Tommy Rich, wildfire personified, so to speak. National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion. Held the belt for a week. Guess what? Even how many years later, still recognized as a world champion. Once the 3 count or the tap out occurs and your hand goes up and that belt goes into your hand around your waist over your shoulder, you are, in this case, I was about to say universal, which I don't think that's actually acknowledged anymore. Acknowledge that. The undisputed champion. He has been a top tier champion in WWE. No one can ever take that away. Once again, and there are some that sat back and said, well, it's a lifetime achievement award for 20 plus years. How many people have worked there longer and haven't gotten that belt? How many people has sold more merch and got bigger pops and blah, 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 or more heat and haven't gotten that belt? Either of the 2 top belts in WWE? Sami Zayn can put him, everybody who understands the situational awareness of this industry, you have to go back and simply sit back and say, WWE champion. He held that top tier title. Nothing can take that away from him. Nothing anybody says. It may get him to deactivate his social media for a week or so. That in and of itself is something that if I cover that, I'm going to get so pissed off. But lo and behold, and I do genuinely mean ticked. But once again, as a transitional champion, so what? He still a champion, period. Shane?
Can't take it away from him. Absolutely. His name will be etched in stone or on the website, cagematch.com, wherever you want to look. It'll show Sami Zayn world champion in some capacity in WWE, and I'm fine with that. I'm also fine with it being a transition champion because, as you mentioned, Dusty Rhodes twice was a transition champion. How many long reigns did the American Dream ever have with the NWA World title? I think you can count on less than one hand.
Yep, exactly.
How many times that happened?
Oh,
But,
no, exactly. I mean, 3-time national wrestling. Go ahead.
No, you please finish. I'm sorry.
3 times National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion. He held, as Adam Pearce called it, Sweet Charlotte. Or I think it's been called that a little. No, I think that was actually his gimmick for it. But lo and behold, yeah, he held that 10 pounds of gold and actually held the big gold too. Twice with the 10 pounds, once with the big gold. And Dusty still, doesn't matter how long the title reigns were, it helped to propagate the feud and the storyline between Dusty and his allies versus Flair and the Horsemen when that was a thing.
And 2 points I want to make here. First, about Sami Zayn. Tell me if I'm wrong. Now, I understand that he and Kevin Owens were not a tag team for very, very, very long, but they did win tag team gold. They did main event one night of WrestleMania.
Yes.
You know what this Sami Zayn right in the middle of July, late June felt like to me? It felt like Ricky Morton in 1986. A guy that could work his ass off. A guy that could go with the top-tier talent. And Lord knows this is no disrespect to Ricky Morton, but he wasn't going to be the guy. They actually went, in my opinion, a little bit further on the Ricky Morton 40 years later with Sami Zayn. A guy that's over, a guy that can work, but fairly or unfairly, in my opinion, and it's shared by a lot of people, would not be looked at as the guy. So kudos on that one. And again, I cannot stress enough about how tiresome it has gotten. The only time the belt changes hands is at WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Kudos. It's changed twice in between those PLEs, which makes SummerSlam, again, more enticing. Because I see so many people saying, well, you know, based on the promo the night after Mania, it's going to be Cody versus Punk. And I go, why? We're going to push Gunther to the side, who cost Cody a chance to be in this match, and blooded him up and just forget about that? I don't think so.
Will they hold that? The question is, will they hold that and keep it going through SummerSlam? Or are we going to sit back and have a scenario at Saturday night's main event coming up in a week and a half from now, and then they try to propagate it through there? Are we going to do a one-off to where Cody can get the Express Lane back to the title, and we have Punk Rhodes at SummerSlam, which, once again, I don't care how you slice, dice, or julienne that, but look up the Vegematic kids. Ron Popeil.
You mean by Bobby Eaton?
Hey, there you go. The Midnight Express move. No, I was actually thinking Popeil, maker of the Pocket Fisherman, which led to so many jokes. So, is that a fishing rod in your pocket? You just happy to see me? It's Popeil's Pocket Fisherman, available now. I have so much crap stored in my brain. It's actually quite hilarious sometimes.
I can sympathize.
Well, you're the trivia master, damn it. You're supposed to have all this crap in there.
Well, when somebody's like, how do you remember that crap? I'm like, I don't try. It's just there. It's a curse. I'm sorry.
I know. It's like all of it. And yeah, we're mosquitoing this thing for a hot second, because there legitimately is a time where I will begin a conversation with somebody on a topic and a buzzword will pop into my head out of something that was said, and my brain will start to break off into that alternate tree limb, and to where the rest of my brain is going, whoa. What? Exactly. Because, okay, let's come back to topic here.
Okay.
And that's my brain talking to you.
I mean, case in point, we could save this for a later segment just to touch on it. I wrote yesterday on social media, on Facebook, a post about the 30-year anniversary of Hulk Hogan turning heel at Bash of the Beach.
Yep.
In 1996. And I had some people message me, like, how much Googling did you do on that? I said, none. Those are my real feelings of how I watched it in the moment, how I reflected on it in years past. That is forever embedded in my brain. I didn't have to do a research paper on this. That just came from the cuff. Because I will tell you, I was, pull back the curtains, kid. I was sitting in an air-conditioned office, thankfully, in a waiting room on my car to get a tune-up and a radiator flushing. So I had plenty of time to sit there and type on my iPad.
Well, you and I have had this discussion about the third man and everything else that went around it. Whether and then of course so many different ones, including Eric Bischoff on 83 Weeks, talked about the potential of the third man being a numerous different people, including Sting. And I will. Everybody, there are moments in time where you always remember where you were when something occurs, especially something that is an item that will spin the business. And I mean like an F3, and this was an F5 or EF5. When Hogan dropped the leg that first time, everybody's stunned. And then when he dropped the leg the second time, oh crap, kaboom. And you had the announce team just selling it perfectly. I mean, it's always so easy being someone who's been around behind the microphone in commentary, 1 chair, 2 chair, 3 chair, doesn't matter. All of the above, pre, post, during production, producing live events. I mean, you always hear something that an announcer, it's case point scenario. When I brought up Cole saying 8-time world champion, it would have been smarter for him just to say 8-time WWE champion and then signify undisputed after that. Or just call it, because you can't say he's an 8-time undisputed champion. Was the spinner belt a WWE championship? Yes. Was it the world title? No. Was it the undisputed title? No. Was it the universal title? Eventually. Kinda.
I want to touch on a couple of things I said, and I won't read you this whole long post because we'll do socials later in the show. But on my Facebook, a couple of things I wanted to bring up on the program about that 1996 turn at Bash at the Beach. I said about the announcers that I thought this was the best performance of Tony Schiavone's career, that match, because the subtleties of referring to Hall and Nash as these two men, these outsiders. When Lex Luger was carted off and taken away, only then did he refer to them as Hall and Nash. His outrage when Hogan did the turn was perfect to me. His lines at the end of the show, calmly saying, "This is Tony Schiavone for WCW. Hulk Hogan, you can go to hell." Straight to hell. That felt real and genuine instead of his over-the-top shtick that he would do years later in WCW because apparently he stopped caring. I thought Dusty Rhodes did a great job saying, "Hulk Hogan, the career of a lifetime, you just flushed down the toilet." But the one who really stood out to me was Gene Okerlund. The post-match in-ring interview that he had expressing anger towards Hulk because of all the time they had spent together. And something I thought, Eddie, it was very easy to sympathize with Gene Okerlund, who was the voice of the betrayed fans in that moment.
Agreed. And I'm going to lay this out there, but I'm not going to go extended play on it. We got about 2 left in the segment. And the art form in play for those doing commentary, and I'll stop there to jump on the point where you brought up eventually Schiavone stopped caring. You get to a point where even you think that you can't sell a moment because it comes across on television and your monitor as so bloomin' preposterous. Case point scenario, David Arquette. Case point scenario, finger point of doom. Or finger poke of doom. I mean, there are certain things that are put on that you don't know exactly how they're going to end. And you see it as it's coming through, and your brain is going, what the mortal F in hell are they going to try to get? Do they want me to say about this crap? The company man side of me goes, well, we're going to do everything we can to make this sound as reflective as possible so people are going to be invested and buy in. And the realist side of me is going, F that. This sucks. But we still got to try. We still got to try because, once again, the overall product, and this is something I have said forever and a day, the ring announcer selling the moment of the introductions, including the winner, the broadcast team selling the moment, helping to build and take the viewer along that roller coaster ride. You have to have the right people in the right place doing the right thing. Am I perfect at it? No. Am I good at it? Yes. Am I damn good? Sometimes. Look,
Absolutely.
I'm intelligent enough to realize, and I'm self-aware enough to realize that I'm damn good at what I do. But I'm also real enough to understand the fact that I can always do a little bit better. I will never say that that I'm 10 out of 10 every damn time. And that's something that I see on social media when it comes to different people who say that they do commentary. It's like, I never miss a call. You lie, mother.
Well, and one last little thing here.
Go ahead.
After trivia last night, I listened to what happened with Conrad Thompson and Tony Schiavone as they covered the Bash at the Beach in 1996. So one thing that I thought was neat was Schiavone said that, in those days, you would just get done with the telecast, take off the headset, run to the back, grab your things, and try to beat the fans, beat the traffic. He said the aftermath of that night, he said it's the only time that I can remember that Dusty Rhodes, myself, Bobby Heenan, and Gene Okerlund, we sat around the locker room like the old days. Nobody said anything for a couple of minutes. We soaked it in. And then someone broke the ice, and we started talking, about WCW had managed just to exist. But in that moment, they felt like they were onto something, really, truthfully. And it did, because that moment for about 2 years, 83 weeks, as we know, there's another podcast with that title. They were number one. I just cannot emphasize enough how old it makes me feel, but how important that moment was, because everything lined up perfectly for the Stars, and you couldn't say that a lot about WCW going past that moment.
True.
But that moment in time, phenomenal.
Look, I'll sit back and say the same thing, except for one thing. I still don't feel old when it comes to that. I know it's been longer than 2 weeks. I've had sleep since then, but let's be real. Ain't a damn one of us old. Cover that in a minute. Folks, hang tight. Shane and I will return. This is Beyond Ringside Live.